So we're at the opening here of the new facility up in Jurby, and obviously it's taken some time. In fact, I think we got pictures of it here. The sod cutting was back in November 2010, so it's taken a bit of time. Who wants to go with this one? Why is it taking so long?
Well, obviously the project has been completed for some time, but sometimes it's quite a while before we get around to arranging openings and make sure any teething problems have been sorted out, snagging problems with the building. And Mr. Bell, Chief Minister, is a very busy man, so it's very difficult to get everybody programmed in to be here, and it's very important that we have all these distinguished guests here to celebrate what is a very important occasion.
Okay, so what does it mean to have this completed now? I mean, is this got to be good news, I suppose, for North of the Island?
Very much so, and especially for Jurby, of course, which has been short, I think, of many of these community facilities, and there have been arguments over many years that these should be brought into the area. This has addressed many of those issues in one building. It's not just providing doctor surgeries for the North of the Island, but it's a much wider community facility which will help service not only the village of Jurby, but the prison and the north generally. So it's a very, very positive step forward, I think.
Because I'm just thinking about, there was a bit of controversy at the time that it was almost going to be too big for the area, and Mr. Cannon Senior wasn't for it and that sort of thing at the time. Have you going to prove your critics wrong now?
No, Mr. Cannon was quite strongly opposed to the idea, and I know there was some concern that the building may be oversized, but I think it's already proving its worth. A number of services are now already moved into this building, and it gives us room to develop for the future. The expectation is Jurby as a village will expand as well. There are a number of plans for new housing schemes out here in the pipeline. So over the next few years, it will really come into its own, I think, and be very much the central facility within the area.
Have you had to find more money to fund, to run this place?
No, we're having to do that within our existing budgets, but I'd just like to emphasise that this facility is actually for the parishes and the villages round about, and actually takes significant pressure off the Ramsey Group practice. Expansion was out of the possibilities, so it's a lot easier for people to come and park here. I'm sure a lot of the people that might previously been registered in Ramsey might like to change their registration to Jurby, because obviously it's going to be easy to park and get in and out of.
You mentioned in your speech about the construction industry and how this gave them work. I mean, all these things, though, are coming to an end, aren't they? Where's the future work for the construction industry going to come from?
This scheme obviously is coming to an end now because we've opened it today. Yeah. But it's very much in the thoughts of government at the moment to try and provide as steady a stream as possible of these sort of projects. The small to medium-sized projects provide a vitally important ingredient in the overall Isle of Man construction package. So we have to do our best now to try and continue with these while we can afford it to keep the industry going.
Well, I mean, that's it, affording things. What's in your construction budget at the minute?
Overall, I think the actual construction element of the capital programme this year is somewhere around about 60 million. A large chunk of that is local authority housing and improvements as well, but we're very much focused on bricks and mortar projects for the next few years, rather than some of the other schemes which, while featuring in the capital programme, actually add very little benefit to the construction industry itself. We're very, very aware of the precarious situation the industry is in at the moment. We're listening to what they're saying, and we're doing our best now to provide work to keep them going in the future.
Well, back to the original controversy. I mean, where to place this exact venue? I mean, are you happy now? You got it right?
Strategically, it was the right place. You know, if you look at the villages round about, Andreas, Bride, Sulby, even people from Kirkmichael. You know, if we'd put a facility at Kirkmichael, you'd been very close to Peel. You'd had all these people from the north having to go somewhere else. Ramsey was at capacity. This is the ideal place. You just look how the list size of the GP practices has grown since they've been here as well, and I think that's ahead of schedule. So I'm sure if people relocate here to visit their doctor, they'll find it's a great advantage.
Okay. Well, finally, budgets. How's the battle going in Comyn? You want more? You're going to cut, or are you protecting him, or what?
Health will always be a priority in government expenditure, depending on obviously what the size of the budget which we will have available next year. They will always have a good slice of it. But overall, the budget for this current year is performing well. I think in terms of income, we're slightly ahead of where we expected to be. Departments are responding well in drawing up their schemes and proposals for next year, because that's already started now. The initial work on next year's budget will be complete by the end of the summer.
Are you going to cut him?
we will have to see what's left, won't we?
Okay. Bizarrely though, this did come in under budget. You mentioned so.
Well, I think a lot of projects are being very competitive at the moment. So we did have problems here on the site to start with, but they've managed to, contain those problems at the beginning. And I'm comforted by the words of the Chief Minister that health is still a priority, but we have to do our part in every department to make sure that we cut costs where we can.